The time has come to digest some beer, and right now, Jack Sabby's newly tallboy canned XS IPL. Their, I guess, hoppiest pale lager, except for maybe like their triple IPL or something. Um, and I heard this is going to replace their old year-round Mass Rising double IPL that was a little bit old style, and I hadn't had in a while, and I haven't seen fresh batches around in a long time. And this one I had almost a year ago when it's first released at their old brewery. I got a growler of it because it was pretty exciting. Their advertisement of it. It was a little bit stronger back then. Right now it's 7.2. It used to be 7. At least the first batch was 7.6. And I was a little disappointed with the first batch. They said it was triple dry hopped, and it was extremely hoppy, but I thought it was a little bit too much on the just powdery, bitter, not super fruity end of the hoppy scale. And I had the first release of the cans, released in distribution a couple days ago when I was a little bit more sick and I couldn't smell very much, but I was like surprised. I thought this was a lot juicier and fruitier than the first batch. And maybe it's because they switched up the recipe a little bit. They definitely lowered the alcohol content, and that could have been the thing that really helped it out a lot. Just a little bit more sweetness helped bring out the fruitiness of the hops. They still have up the intense description of this beer that they released when it first came out. Even though I know they've changed it slightly, I bet the hops are probably still the same. They say it has Citra, Chinook, Equinox, Calypso, and Simcoe hops. And they actually give a listing of different flavors that come from those hops. And they also give a really good description of how they hop this beer. With things saying like that they first add whole leaf Calypso hops to the mash tun, and then throw in even more hops than usual. And then they say that they triple dry hop out with their proprietary dry hopping system. So I don't know how exactly how many hops they use. If it ends up being a lot more pounds of dry hops used than usual, because they don't mention that, but it is quite aromatic. So that's enough. That's enough. You can go read and look it up if you want. But I thought it would be good to do a video review of it now that my sniffer is a little bit back and better since my sickness, and that really looks, yeah, it looks very good, and I could smell it, and it kind of gets me excited. And I think the idea is that this is going to be available year round. Maybe it won't be available in copious amounts, but yes, that smells very good. It's got a teeny light haze in there, but definitely not real cloudy. Yes, that smells really very nice. Like, I do get lots of pear and pineapple and tropical fruit notes. Oh yeah, and this can's exactly 2 weeks old, so pretty darn fresh. But it's just like soft, sweet apricot, orchard fruits, peachy things. It's not super in-your-face juiciness that I might get like pure mango juice from some Trillium IPAs, but it's a similar side of like really soft orchard stone fruits thing happening. With just a touch of that cakey, kind of marshmallowy ambrosia salad thing happening. Definitely a lot of that's coming from the Citra. I bet they use a lot. And Equinox, that brings out that a little bit too. But with Equinox, I definitely get lime and bell pepper and things like that. Sometimes I'm getting some lime, so a little bit of key lime. But there's none of that oniony or cat pissy or overly dank resinous thing that I get often from Citra. nor do I get really any like jalapeno or green pepper from the Equinox. They really got maximized the fruitiness of this and left out any of the kind of harsher hop edges. Mm. Yeah, it is pretty juicy. I almost get banana too. Like when I first had this beer, I thought it was just like not very fruity, too bitter, powdery. This has a little bit of a powdery kind of Smarties candy thing going on, but it's just so pleasant. It's not too bitter. It's still plenty bitter, but there's just a touch of sweetness. Not too much, and you can see that like it's super pale. There's no like toasty, caramely thing really happening. I mean, firm enough bitterness to handle all that fruitiness. That's really, really nice, and it's unique. I feel like the lagering and the way they dry hop it really takes away the harsh edges of the hops, and especially because they're using sort of new wave hops. I guess Simcoe and Chinook have been around for a while, but they're using those in combination with the newer, more tropical fruity hops to really just somehow avoid harsh, woody, piney tones too much. And there's just maybe a little mandarin, but yeah, the ambrosia salad thing describes it pretty well, like coconut and like canned mandarin orange and canned pineapple. Maybe some peaches going on in there too. Yeah, they list passion fruit, guava, citrus, grapefruit, floral, pine, lime, papaya, bell pepper, melon. Guess there's probably melon too. Apple, that sort of apple pear thing I definitely get. Sweet mint and blackberry, peach, and pine. Yeah, I think the Simcoe definitely brings out a little bit of that berry quality. There's so many hot flavors in this beer. And it's amazing that now I'm praying that there'll be at least every couple of weeks a couple cases of these cans around. I know that the place I got this, I think they just got one can or one case last week, and it sold out pretty quickly. And it has a pretty nice textured, hoppy looking head. It's not sticking around with so much lacing and soapiness, but it does look beautiful. Now that I got to the bottom of the can, way, way, way hazier. That's opaque now almost. So they'd probably somehow apply that juicy, hazy New England style hopping, but with making their lagers. I've had the triple dry hopped Hoponius Union, and I actually like that a lot more when I've had it than the first batch of excess, but this excess is pretty good now. They've really figured it out. Yeah, it's a pretty good beer, and there's only, I don't even know if I get any of that lagery sulfur mineral thing, maybe just a touch in the finish. But it's not really distracting from the hops or anything. It's just giving a slightly different kind of minerally bitter finish. It's quite bitter now, I'm noticing, but all that fruity juiciness and just like the dozens of different fruit flavors you can pick out of this are really the star of the show, and the bitterness is just handling that and giving you, just more hops than I've had from any Jack Sabby beer, except maybe when I had the triple dry hopped Kiwi Rising, their double IPL with Nelson Sauvin. That was maybe a little more in your face, but this is actually fruitier and juicier because Nelson Sauvin doesn't have all the abilities of these 5 different hops when it comes to fruitiness, I think. And there's like things that I'm still missing besides, like, I think I said everything for the most part that I taste. I'm gonna give this a pretty pretty good score, like a 9. I'm very impressed with this one. Everyone in New England should, if you see any cans of this, snag them. I know that the can design, the new Jack Sabby design is kind of interesting, but this can just makes me think of board shorts from like Hollister or something. But it's a great beer, and they have the dating pretty clearly on the bottom. And at 2 weeks old, this is drinking beautifully. So yeah, 9, 90, 91, whatever you want to call it for the XS IPL from Jack Sabby.